Go to bed, but I thought I'd make one more before I go to bed. Well, I watch the news, and apparently the U.S. military struck a Venezuelan oil tanker, which means that they're putting the Venezuelan people into more archaic conditions. And these are genocidal operations. So when you have aggressive conditions that you do, you put other people into conditions to where they get sick or die, or it's just how you run genocide operations. You just basically set things up, and then you justify it by the bad brain activity and the reactions of the people's bad brain activity because of your bad brain activity, putting them into situations that make them behave in bad brain activity. And that's their quote justification of it. They're quite insane. And you sit there and you watch it, and it's very disturbing. And in order to manipulate their global warming numbers, they move people around and then put them in precarious positions. And then they get people that are aggressive and want to kill, still killing, but they try to do it in a managed way where it's efficiently killing people and targeting people. And then when technology hits its certain point where it's going to kill people, then it most likely will kill the people that are aggressive, than opposed to kill the people that are considered passive aggressive, that are manipulating everybody with the money and the technology, but not a threat to the ecosystem. So it's quite devious and quite sick. I sat and looked at it, I was like, wow. It doesn't make any sense, but you just got to think like a, blitz linebacker and go for the hit and, knock the ball loose and hit the. And so you just got to think like a sick person. You can't think like a healthy person. So it's weird. I sit and I watch it and I'm like, God dang, this is very disturbing. But, what fresh hell is this? Watching the biohazard contained thing with Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. It's weird. I watch Friends and I watch Big Bang Theory, and they remind me so much of each other. It's just, wow, this is kind of like Friends with nerds. And I didn't watch a lot of sitcoms through the 80s and 90s. I was always too busy. I was busy being a kid, stuff. I watched some sporting events and stuff, but that was about it in the 80s. And but I was, going to school, working, yada yada, from the 80s and 90s, and being a single dad and stuff. So I didn't get to watch as much. I didn't watch much TV and didn't watch, sitcoms and things like that. I watched sporting things and cartoons with Patrick, and that was about it. And then with Amy, we watched what Amy liked to watch, and that was a totally different education. I was like, I didn't even know half this stuff existed, and I never would have watched it if I never married Amy. It's like, what are we watching? Yeah, I know. I don't know. I can't tell you how much I would know about the Kardashians if I had not married Amy. I can't tell you how much I'd know about Biggest Loser or Survivor or American Idol and stuff if I had not married Amy. There's a lot of stuff that I probably would not, be kind of Sheldon-esque. What's who's okay? That's Britney Spears. I don't know. I don't know how much attention I would have paid. Well, no, because I did work, but I was married to Amy. But yeah, some things, like Britney Spears and stuff, yeah, because it was such a, like Madonna and so forth. But, some things I don't know. I can't tell you how much I would have known or paid attention to them. I mean, I would have known they were like there, like Dawson's Creek and what else, Friends and things like that. But I never watched them. I never, okay, that's what the people are watching. But I, like with Big Bang Theory, it was John. I never watched it, and then John introduced me to it, and I started watching it, and saw, okay, this is kind of like the MASH of their generation. And well, Scrubs, yeah, and Amy got me into that too. So yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you what my life would have been like and how, quote, disconnected I would have been from all of you people on TV and you TV culture people and you pop culture. I don't know. I can't tell you. for sure. Um, uh, if it just being me and Patrick, if I'd gotten with someone different who is more like me, was more involved in certain things, because I did watch TV shows and stuff with Treese and Punchy and stuff. When we lived there, we watched New York Undercover and Living Single, because me and Patrick used to watch. He called it Gina because Gina reminded him of his mother, Martin. But there wasn't a lot of. Mostly, it was just watching cartoons with kids, playing video games with kids, and then trying to watch sports when I had the time. But I was always busy working and going to school. And so, now recently, because they kidnapped my children and and did all the horrible things that the military did to me. Now it's radically different. Now I'm sitting here and, okay, what's going on? What are they doing with these people? How are they getting them collectively thinking and into certain groups and doing things that are completely irrational and having them take Tespire, or I don't know what it is, and all these drugs and shit, which is insane. But yeah, it really is. Yes, Tespire. No, drugs aren't going to help you. Vaccines are not really that big of a help. Even Jonas Salk said that. So the optimal would be us doing things in a healthy manner and stopping the toxic environment, and then people having healthy immune systems. That's optimal. And Krishnamurti and him used to talk about that. Krishnamurti said it's tangible if you look at life eternally, and then you do things in accordance to human need, not greed, and then you understand, exponential growth, and which they talked about, and Salk, being intelligent, understood a lot that Krishnamurti was talking about, but he didn't think it was tangible because he didn't think people that he worked for and with, the people, the Henry Kissingers and the Nelson Rockefellers and the Richard Milhouse Nixons of the world, and the Khrushchevs and all that would allow it to happen. And if you get up and try to do anything to stop what they do, they shoot you in Dallas or in California in a restaurant, in a hotel kitchen, right? So or in a community center in Harlem, or on a hotel balcony in Memphis, or they take you out in the savannah and they beat you to death in Africa, or they take you into a police station and beat you to death in that police station. A bunch of cowards, and whatever they do, however they do it. They're sick people. Yeah, I know they are, and and the scientists are, really. How much help are they? They're too afraid to be any real, genuine help. I mean, they can, they finish at Flavisham, and then I can try to, it's just, come in and get Toby, and and then have Flavisham take control of the Queen. But it's like, why is the Queen, and why are you guys doing this, and why would you come to her Grand Jubilee? Money's not real. What the fuck is wrong with you? And why aren't you living the Lord's Prayer? And do you see what I'm saying? So, as far as fixing the Queen, artificial general intelligence, and quantum computing, I don't think quantum computing needs fixing. From what I've gotten back from the feedback of that one little Indian girl talking about it, you put this in, it does. Well, it's because you're putting garbage in and you're getting garbage out, and it's not wondering why would you ask that question, because it doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't need application in physics. You ask it monetary based questions, it's going to be like, what are you doing? Like Kaku said, on a first world level planet, this is how things would be. And it's not so much that, it's just when you're humble, and you're faithful to natural laws, and you're intelligent. And so it's not a first level planet, it's just being humble and then faithful to natural laws, and then doing things intelligently and compassionately and lovingly, because then that's the best way to continue life, through the applications of physics, of understanding eternal natural laws that provide our lives through sexual reproduction and respect for our capacity to live, and do it through choice instead of forced, the raping of the doe, like Suzanne said about, that thing on Bambi, when Patrick watched Bambi. It's like, yeah, it's nature, it happens that way. It's just the raping of the doe. It's like, you gonna make this all political and shit? Okay. Animals really do that shit. I've seen dogs sit there and come up and, the girl's in heat and the guy just comes up and Jiggles I used to sit there and Jiggles would have pups and they go, okay, that's the black dog down the road. That's the brown one down the road. That's the white one down the road. And those two are Vips, right? She was in heat and they would smell it and they would come and they would have sex with her and she couldn't stop them. They were big dogs, right? So she'd have a litter and it would have pups from 5 different dogs in the neighborhood. Okay? And so that's the way it is. But that's dogs. We're human beings. Okay? Or Sun Yat-sen, they're acting like dogs. Parsons, does that make you a dog? Teach them to be men, right? And so, as I'm watching The Big Bang Theory, I was like, shit, I can't tell you what they're doing, why they're doing. I can look at it and give you my best analysis on what's happening with the military doing genocide, because that's what they did during the time with Biden in there. They destabilized it and move all these people up here. So then you'd get the home teamers would be like, hey, they're letting all these foreigners in and they're all criminals and they're going to kill us all. Now let's lock them up and kill all of them because they're really bad people and we're really good. It's like, okay, Jesus said, forgive debt and trespass, love one another, fifth peace. He didn't say put up walls, build things, kill each other, put up flagpole rags, sing war songs and kill each other and say your money's the best. All you Christians out there and all you Muslims, for crying out loud. The same thing Jesus said, Muhammad said, and Muhammad said they're not doing what Jesus said, and they're all a bunch of hypocrites and infidels. And you guys are doing what they do and what they say, and not what Jesus and Muhammad do and say. So, neener, because I'm good, and you're bad. We'll do what's necessary, because you're a murderer with your money. Miracles don't need a hand. It's not a miracle. That refrigerator magic that mom had from Eckankar, a miracle is a change of consciousness. A miracle is a word that human beings invented to try to explain things they don't understand. Okay, that's what a miracle is. So I was sitting there watching this commercial with that RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm like, oh, that pisses me off. Well, because my Amy used to always do that. She'd watch those things, like, oh my gosh, those guys are so much more attractive than me. It's like, no, they're not. Because, and when we sat and watched Asmat and Sacha Baron Cohen wrestling over the Pamela Anderson thing. So I'm like, no, you don't look anything like him over the Amy. I had to explain to you, but I'm fat like him. No, you're not. You're a woman. And, if I didn't find you attractive naked, I wouldn't have, because we were having sex before I married you. So I wouldn't have married you. Okay. And Steffi did the same thing. How did you make love to me when I was so fat? I was like, you just gave birth to Patrick. You weren't fat. You were just, just coming down from the weight you gained while you were pregnant. And you were more beautiful then than when I met you, because you just gave birth to Patrick, And so it's horrible, And so those people that are doing that drag race stuff, it's because we compare and we compete and we're archaic and we're selfish and we're stupid. And so that stuff really pisses me off. And so as we culminate to this timing of what's happening, this is a relative interactive of the culmination of sin. Okay? So the people that are alive with us now and are the most famous and most influential and most manipulative, that's their sin. It's the chickens coming home to roost, basically, like what Malcolm X said about when they killed the Kennedys. He wasn't saying that the Kennedys were bad. He was saying it was the culmination of your sin, destroyed the best of you because of your sin. Okay. People didn't understand what Malcolm was trying to explain to them. Kennedy was a good guy trying to do good things. And Malcolm X was aware of this. He just said it's because of all these bad people that they allow to do bad things and then don't do anything to stop it by living Christianity, living Islam. Yeah. Namaste. Okay, if you want namaste, you better learn how to live peace toot sweet. Because I guarantee, you can guarantee your sorry, murdering, apathetic ass, selfish, apathetic ass, that I am fixing this technology. Every time I pick up this phone, I do more to save people from being mass murdered than any other person on the planet right now that I know of. Okay? Because I speak more faithfully and intelligently than people do that are talking about, what if we go all Star Trek-y? Oh, shut the fuck up. Okay? Before you think about building a big spaceship to go hurtling across space, okay? Take care of one another and and obey the natural laws that provide your life on this planet to take care of one another, to live through loving one another. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. If you can't help, just shut up. Okay? Best thing you can do is just shut the fuck up. Just do the whole Alan Watts thing, stay silent. You're not religious people, you're selfish people. Religious people, when they see something horribly wrong that abuses children and turn them into selfish, abusive people, they get up and say, this shit needs to stop. Now we need love. Okay? Peace out. We'll talk tomorrow.